We're back for another episode of my F1 24 My Team Career Mode. This is the Hungarian Grand Prix round 13 as we begin the second part of the season. The previous episode, guys, running the all-white livery at Silverstone. My home race will be linked in the top right. We begin today's episode with an aerodynamics facility event, and for this one we had to either choose extra sim time or extra department testing, and each of these had a negative effect on Behrman or the aero department. In the end, I actually let the aero department do the work. I didn't really want to hinder Ollie Behrman because our second drivers have just been suffering a lot and I can't seem to get them to get points. Either way, for this weekend we do have a supplier upgrade for the durability, and we're going to add an ERS update for the rotor speed moving forward into Zandvoort. Now, with that out of the way, we also received the DRS maximum slot gap on the aero as we arrive at Hungary.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Now, as always, we begin with the forecast, which is dry, so no issue with that, although I never say no to a bit of rain. In terms of the forecast, in terms of development, we're down to 4th. We was actually first last time out in Silverstone. We were the best car on the grid, and we've dropped 3 places. So Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston Martin bring in a raft of updates on top of the ones that we've brought ourselves here. So they've really brought a pretty significant package. And yeah, we dropped to 4th ahead of McLaren and Red Bull, who now dropped to 6th. With RB just behind them. Now, we head into this one with a pretty big lead in the drivers. All we have to do is manage. We're in the second half of the season now. We've got over 3 race wins in our pocket over Leclerc. And yeah, all we've got to do is try and manage things. The Mercedes have been the strongest in recent times, and they're looking pretty sharp in the constructors as well. For us though, we're going to get into our race runs in Friday practice and get down to business as usual. So far, it's been a good season. So long may it continue as we head over the line to finish them.
Job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
Now you can see in terms of the data, we actually had fairly decent stats. Tyre wear, fuel burn, both looked fairly healthy. Just over 1% on tyre wear. Fuel burn or fuel rate load was anything under 53, I'd say, is pretty healthy. Also, lap times were fairly consistent throughout the 5 laps. So yeah, things were looking pretty good for the weekend. In terms of the pace though, we do finish practice in the bottom 3, which is very surprising actually, although we are one of the few cars on mediums. Behrman 3/10 behind in terms of his pace in this session. But yeah, P20, P21 for us. Not fully accurate, you know, had we ran softs, we probably would have been a bit higher up, so we're not going to read into it too much. But either way, that's it for the updates, for the upgrades, you know, for the state of play and practice heading into this weekend. You can see we also get our discounts as usual, as we have, you know, more upgrades to make moving forward. But we're now going to move into qualifying, and this is often referred to as Monaco without barriers, because overtaking is difficult in the race. So qualifying is actually pretty important and pretty key around here. So let's get into it.
It is time for the drivers to dance on the edge. You are never resting, you are never still in qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix right here at the Hungaroring.
Right then, let's get to it. Soft tyres on the car for the first run of the session. Going to try and get a banker lap down as always to try and see where the baseline of the car is and just get a feeling in terms of our pace and what we're working with here. So currently making our way into sector 3. So far so good, don't really have any references to say, so we're just going to see what the lap is over the line. Verstappen currently only P14 as we exit the last corner over the line for a 1:12.5 and we jump into the top 10, but only splitting the Audis and the Racing Bull. So we'll see. We're going to go for our usual cool down lap and then a second push, and we're going to try and go again and basically now take a bit more risk and also use our battery a bit more, because I actually had some battery left over on that first run, because it's not a track where you really use battery much, so you actually want to basically dump a lot of it on the first 2 straights. You can see already, because of that difference in deployment strategy, we're now over a 10th up already in sector 1. So now we're going to see what we can do through sectors 2 and 3. Over the crest, keeping it within track limits quite safely there as we head to this long right, I believe turn 6 or turn 7. Now into the right-left chicane. Important to just ride the curbs here nicely. Don't be too aggressive and, you know, don't overwork the car. through that left. We have a bit of a slide, but we actually keep good corner speed and momentum rolling. So we're looking pretty decent as we now send it through the last corner in Sector 2, turn 11, I believe, or turn 12. And we do look pretty decent here. A quarter of a second up as we now head into this 90-degree right, followed up by a left hairpin. Trying to see if we can improve currently P11 as we have dropped down the table a little bit. 3/10 up as we now go to the last corner, keeping it nice and tight, opening up the throttle with the battery as well. Over the line we go, and it's a 112.2, and 3/10 gives us an improvement of P11 all the way to P4. So the field seems to be fairly tight, and the field spread is looking pretty close. So yeah, we own the best first sector. You can see Behrman down in P17, within a second of P1, and to be fair, we did a pretty good lap there, and we're still 3/10 off George Russell's pace. So yeah, we are a bit distant right now. So it seems like, again, Mercedes looking fairly strong, and I don't particularly like this track, so I think pole here will take a bit of a special lap. I think that turn 1 really cost us. That first sector was just a bit costly. We did recover some of that time on the exit of turn 1, but I'll be honest, I don't think anything more than P4 is possible in that session. I do believe the top 3 were a little bit far away, and look at Mercedes, it's a front row lockout. Behrman finishes P17. We are right behind Charles Leclerc, our nearest championship rival, but the Mercedes cars are continuing their form, and they're looking strong yet again. Of course, George DNF'd last time out, so he needs to try and respond today and get a big result in the race. Either way, that's it for us. I'll take a P6, damage limitation. I don't think we're super quick here, so yeah, also I don't love the track. So let's get into the race and let's see how it goes.
It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of Formula One action. It's tight, it's technical. Some drivers love it, some drivers find it a challenge. Either way, there's been so much drama in the last couple of years at the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're in the northeast of Budapest for the race today then, at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Fernando Alonso, Norris, Leclerc, Martinez, Tsunoda, Sainz, Stroll, Hülkenberg, Albon, Perez, Bottas, Gasly, Joe, Behrman, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Sargent, Hauger, and Théo Pourchaire. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. It's race day, it's gonna be a thriller. I'm Alex Jakes, alongside me is Naomi Schiff. Well, it's all about forgetting last time because that was a bit of a shocker. How did they change the story today?
It is true, they had a really tough day in the office last time out, but they cannot dwell on that. It's so important to turn the page and start on a blank slate, because the more you dwell on that, the less it's gonna push you in the right direction. So take some notes, obviously there's things to be learned, but move on.
Right, it looks like Mercedes mean serious business here at Hungary. We're P6 on the grid. Merc front row lockout, which it's amazing how the season has changed. You know, originally McLaren were the favourites and were the hot prospect at the start of the season, and now at the halfway stage, it's all Mercedes. They are back and they're looking as strong as ever. Now, for this one, we start P6. I feel like my pace is okay around here. I don't really like Hungary as a track. It's probably my top 5 least, enjoyable circuits to race on. So for this one, we're going to try and basically play it safe and do the right thing. So we're going to start on mediums, then go to hards. We're going to basically follow the AI strategy. I assume nobody's going to start on hards, to my knowledge. No rain forecast. The key thing here is going to be hopefully trying to make a move or two, potentially lap 1 at the start, throughout the race. If we can get to the pit phase around P4, we might be able to break into the podium with the pit phase. But that's my prediction. I think a top 3 would be a good result. So let's get into it and let's see how it goes. Right, let's do it. And let's see if we can try and hopefully, first off, get a good start. And then we'll really take it from there in terms of what we can do in terms of our race pace. But it does seem like everybody has gone for the mediums as I expected. So we'll go for medium, ERS off the line. We'll point the car slightly left. Hopefully we can get a good launch. Right, let's get to it. Lights on. Hungarian Grand Prix. Oh, Norris with a bad start. Alonso with a flyer. Splits the Mercedes. Tsunoda also with a brilliant start. Into turn 1. It's all a bit chaotic here. We're 3 wide. So I'm having to just be careful. Stroll still there on my left. We're going to try and go through, but it's all tight. We get floor damage. Stroll drives.
Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be careful.
Stroll drives into the side of us and we get floor damage, and now Hulkenberg is trying to go through. Just trying to figure out what the damage is like, but I did what I could there. I left room on the inside and the outside, but Stroll trying to desperately go for that move into turn 2 or turn 3, and yeah, damage on the floor. Not sure if he got wing damage or not, but looks like Mercedes held onto that 1-2. I think Alonso back to P3, so this is not exactly ideal. We've ended up losing 2 places from that incredible start. So now we're going to have to try and figure this out. 2 V-Cubs, by the way, looking very strong in this one, in the top 7. So let's settle in. Let's see what the race pace looks like with floor damage. Also straight line speed test. Here we go.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Right, straight line speed looks good. Hopefully the car behaves. We have no real big snaps. It's not super inaccurate, and we should be okay. So let's settle in and see what we can try and do. So no, it doesn't have DRS in the top 4, so that's important.
The underbody's taken a little damage. Just watch out for it.
Yep, I'm well aware. Very well aware. It's proving difficult so far to make any real progress here. DRS effect is strong. We're all just kind of running in a train, so I can't really close it at this stage. Maybe once tyre wear kicks in, we can start to make a bit of progress. The AI do tend to struggle with tyre wear a bit. Their pace does drop, so we'll see. Good thing here is we have a bit of a teammate scenario, so at the pit phase, we can either get Hulkenberg or Tsunoda here, depending on if we overcut or undercut, as one of them will have to go long by a lap. So there's opportunity there. Same goes for Stroll, because Alonso's in the lead group. We could do something here, so it depends on how this race pans out, and also traffic nearer to the pit phase further back. If we have a gap to box, an undercut might be a smart option here to try and at least get 2 of these cars. First warning, a little bit wide there. Got to be careful. Track limits is possible around here quite easily. Oh, here we go. Stroll going for it. On Tsunoda. Stroll, I think, will have pace to potentially, I want to say catch, but maybe close in. The Aston is a pretty fast car. Sainz was pressuring me there, but Stroll does get the move done. So let's see now if Stroll takes the reins, how we get on pace-wise. Well, it didn't last long. Tsunoda sticking right with Stroll, so I don't think we're going anywhere. It's literally impossible for us to make any sort of overtake in this train. We're too far back, so we're kind of stuck until the pit phase. Left rear is overheating. Left rear getting hot. That's going to be already a telltale sign that we kind of need to get on the hards, which is not ideal. We are very rear limited, it seems, with our car around it. You'll see now. I ain't got a lot of confidence on traction compared to the AI, and the left rear is getting pretty hot already, so we're going to have to, I'd say, survive. I don't think the race pace is really that good at all around here, so we are really just trying to get by it. Hopefully the hard tyre's better. I've been dropped out of DRS range. I just don't have the confidence right now in the car. The back end is all over the place, so I just can't push. I've put the front wing up by 1 for the pit stop. I've also got a bit of understeer. As you saw, we were slow in sectors 2 and 3 in qualifying, but you can see the back end there is not cooperating, and that is going to cost us DRS. So signs will go by here. I'm never going to fight. He's way, way quicker. To be fair, Norris might go through as well. This is really not optimal, but I ain't got an answer at this stage. The left rear is just staying hot. It's not super, super hot, but it's, you know, if I try and push, it just goes nuclear, basically, so I'm trying to manage it. These two are really not helping us out right now. This is the worst case scenario, but I think Norris is going to get the double. I don't particularly want to pass signs. I just want to try and get on with it. Bottas here goes for it down the inside. I don't have the grip on the left rear to hold on, although we just start breaking into the chicane. I need that hard tyre. I need to box, so when I get a chance I will. It's too early yet. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Second warning. It's the left rear. I just cannot get any confidence from that tyre. Just got to try and hang on for a few more laps. Still got DRS, which is important. I just can't push. I just cannot push the car. Simple as that.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
I'm giving up. I'm chucking in this stint early to switch onto a hard tyre. I wonder if the floor damage is part of the reason why the car's unstable at certain points. Because the tyres aren't super, super hot. It's just a little bit of overheating, but it's just making the whole thing feel really unsettled. Either way, I'm going to go for the hard tyre. I'm going to put a +1 on the front wing, which is risky, but I'm banking on the hard not overheating for me to do this. And hopefully we can have a bit more rotation in sectors 2 and 3. But this is desperate times. We need this to work. Good stop, 2.2. Clean air to try and push Verstappen down in P20 still.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Right, this is going to be a critical 2-3 laps before the pit window to try and get back in the race. Ideally, if I can get back into that group of the V-carbs, that would be the ideal scenario here, and undercut back ahead of Norris and Sainz. So let's see how this turns out. Looks like we might just nick DRS off of Zhou here, maybe. Yes, we do. Had to sacrifice the last corner a little bit to make sure we got in. Personal best by 0.2. Not great, but it's better pace. I think Zhou's got damage. He's super, super slow, especially compared to Bottas. We'll just go around the outside here. Right, come on. Pourchaire, Hauger in the Haas. Let's keep climbing. Right, cars are in. We are now within Pourchaire's DRS. Not sure which one of the Haas cars is going to box first. It's going to be Hauger, so Pourchaire stays out, so we're going to have to pass him on the straight. And we're going to be racing a pit exit. So we'll try and get a slingshot here. Sonoda's behind, and so is Norris, so we've undercut those guys, which is good. Alonso was with the lead group, 5.5, so let's keep going. Got another lap here to undercut those cars that have stayed out, the number 2 drivers. Right, everybody's in, including Ollie. We go purple. Getting that slingshot at the start of the lap, and look at that, we're P5. The undercut has worked. beautifully. But now we're going to have to manage that tyre offset. But look at that, 6% on the left side. Not too bad. Let's try and keep Norris out of DRS range for as long as possible.
Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done.
Disaster. Absolute disaster. And the worst thing is Norris is basically just dragging everybody along with him. So this is going to be tough to fix. Oh boy, this is really not going well. I'm pushing flat out to try and keep Norris out of my DRS, but it's proving very difficult. And I think he's got in, so that's that. Using a lot of battery, but we just don't have pace. It must be the damage. It has to be the floor damage that's just hurting my car a bit because I don't have a response. So yeah, Norris is here and will be passing us probably next lap around, so I think we'll be lucky to get points in this one. Right, here comes Lando. This won't be too difficult. He'll probably pass me quite easily, so we'll just let him go. Tsunoda won't get by, so we should be able to slot him behind and just follow and stick with Norris, really. Hopefully he can just pull us along. He should have good pace in that McLaren, so we'll let him run it for a bit and see if we can try and hang in there for basically the rest of the race. And my only hope really is that they battle behind or they slowly fall out of DRS range if Norris runs a strong pace. So let's see what happens. I'm out of battery. Lando is getting away. I've still got DRS just. But this isn't easy. He's really stretching me and pushing my buttons. I'm struggling. I just don't have an answer. And that's it. He's gone. Just cannot keep up at the minute. Not our race today. Got back in there briefly. I just can't push the car. It's impossible. Tsunoda's going to get by here. And Sainz might as well. No point fighting. We've got the pen. We're going to finish behind these guys anyways. We'll try and keep it tidy, but last Lando getting away. I think the best we can hope for is P9 behind Hulkenberg here, unfortunately. Sainz through on Tsunoda. Hulkenberg also having a look at me as well, but we're going to outbrake him for now. Sainz clean through. We'll see now if he can pull away. For now though, we're keeping the gap to Stroll, so P9 looks to be on the cards on the table, so we'll try and secure that result. Not ideal. Luckily, we're not going to get punished too heavily for it. Sainz is driving away here. If Tsunoda gets dropped, we'll have a much better time in these last 5 laps. Potentially there's a scenario here where if I can see Sainz get away and Tsunoda is on his own, we might be able to try and pass him and basically pit him against Hulkenberg and that they battle amongst themselves, and we could try and maybe break a 3-second gap and get P7.
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
Don't think that will have an influence on the race though. This is the closest I've been to Tsunoda. We're starting to slowly reel him in. Hulkenberg also really putting the pressure on now and just sitting at 2/10 behind constantly here. Just trying to see if I can do something in these closing stages. It's not going to be easy, but we'll have a go and see what we can try and do. Fuel is a bit marginal, but I think we should be okay. Oh my god, wow, that was a close one. I've been in the barrier there before. Trying to pressure Tsunoda to ideally pass him now on the pit straight. We are running on fumes for fuel, but actually I think now the car's a bit lighter. It's not suffering as much as it has been this race. I think it was worse with a heavier fuel, but now we're a little bit more competitive. Still not really quick, but I just want to see if I can try and put the V-Cubs in a bit of a predicament here and let them kind of implode. Down the inside. Right, let's see. I don't think anything will happen, Kind of need Hulkenberg to challenge Tsunoda there, but didn't quite work out. We'll try something on the last lap. Taking a wide line on purpose here to see if I can set up the exit a bit. Here we go. Last lap, down to turn 1 we go. We'll hold on quite comfortably. Well, back down towards turn 2, we'll show the outside line and dangle the carrot. But Hulkenberg doesn't challenge, so I think the V-Cubs are going to just keep it tidy. Might have been a team order. Leclerc wins. That's big for the championship. He's our nearest rival. He beats the Mercedes. And we're going to finish P9, which is a real shame. Pen doesn't make a ton of difference, P7 and P9, but car was terrible.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
What a drive! What a driver! Charles Leclerc takes the victory.
It's not every day that we get to see such incredible wheel-to-wheel racing. Next time, they might consider making it easier for themselves, but today, we absolutely loved all the action that we got to see out there.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
Right, there it is then. P9 confirmed. Really not ideal. Really not ideal. The good news is Mercedes didn't quite get the 1-2. They got split by Leclerc and Alonso, so that's good. But Leclerc is our nearest title rival when he got P1. Also our rival in general in this career. So yeah, we end the streak of, you know, podiums and race wins, but it is what it is. The V-Carb's also very quick today. Behrman down in P17. But yeah, there is your lot, and there is your final finishing position. So if we delve into the standings, the gap is now down to 49 points. Leclerc takes a pretty big chunk out of our lead. We're still over 3 race wins clear from P3 downwards. So Leclerc is going to be our main focus now. In the Constructors, we dropped quite a bit. We're now 55 points away. That was the target this season, but I just cannot get the second driver to work. That's an issue. It's an issue. It has been an issue for years. The second driver, the teammate, never does well. So, yeah. And also, it's unrealistic that we sign, you know, someone like Verstappen, let's be honest. So, you should be able to have a teammate that's competent and that can work with you. But it is what it is. In the meantime, guys, on screen, you're going to have the post-race fallout. I think we might struggle to hit certain goals. Obviously, we had damages in that one as well. So, that's also going to hurt us and hinder us a little bit. So, definitely not the best day at the office, and a lot to be desired. We go again next time out, I believe, at Spa or Zandvoort, and that is going to be interesting. Spa usually is pretty easy for us. The AI are terrible around there, so if that is the case, we'll get a chance to bounce back. If it's Zandvoort, we'll see. That could be a bit more tricky. Also, Monza is a bit of a banana skin coming up as well, where the AI can be a bit aggressive. So, yeah, in the meantime, guys, a massive shout out to the members of the channel. You would have seen in the background all the post-race fallout. Also, check out the 2 videos on your screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, guys, I'll see you on the next one very soon. Take care, and let's go back from me. Ciao.